Hi, Joe.
Hi, Giridhar.
I've been wondering on one question which I keep facing many a time. We've all learned in schools, colleges, and we found our careers. We seem to be doing quite well in that. What is the need for this psychometric assessment and career counseling today, the way you're presenting it?
You started with a contradictory statement. You said we have been through colleges, we chose our careers and have been seemingly happy with that. May I ask you, what was your first career after college?
An instrumentation job?
An engineer.
An engineer?
And what are you doing now?
Engineering the mind.
So there's a lot of difference between engineering in the manufacturing or instrumentation sector versus engineering the mind. Probably you may have had an inkling, some insight, even when you're in school or college, about dealing with engineering people's minds. To cite my example, after my 12th, I was a good student. I used to score 100% in maths, 90 plus in physics and chemistry, almost touching 90. And since I had such good marks, I was advised and I went for engineering admission. I went for merchant navy because I had a fancy for ships and sailing. 3, I went for Air Force because flying was something that I was always attracted to. And last was I went and applied for BA psychology. My aggregate average was 92%. And the clerk refused to accept my application for psychology because in 1977, only people who did not get admission in engineering, medicine, or science subjects or BSc Maths, Physics, Chemistry would come for psychology. Now, after that, I joined Air Force. I flew the fighter jets. I was in the recruitment. I was in the training and development department, HR function of Air Force. After 23 years, I am today a corporate consultant, trainer, psychometric specialist. I am doing what a psychologist must be doing.
What is your certification with the British Psychological Association? Or the society?
British Psychological Society is the only body which provides standardized curriculum and certification process in the field of psychology and applied psychology. Although there are, say, American Psychological Society, Australian Psychological Society, they do not concur a certification program because British Psychological Society is one of the oldest. When I did the program in 2006 November, so there used to have level A and level B certification in psychometric administration and testing. So level A was for ability testing, for selection or development, and level B was for personality testing, both for selection and development. Now, over the years, British Psychological Society has evolved and modified this into 3 distinct certifications. First one is called test administration. Second is for ability testing, and third one is for personality testing. So, assistant, test administrator, test user ability, and test user personality. All 3 put together was the erstwhile British Psychological Society level A, level B. And what's unique about Inner Minds Academy is, in India, we are the only providers of online e-learning to complete the certification. The benefits to the individual, it can be done at home or in the office. And most important, India is a price-sensitive market. The price is literally almost half of a classroom training that one can attend to get the same certification.
Now, coming back to this concept of career counseling, my astrologer once told me that I'm going to be this, and I am that. What's so great about career counseling that you're doing today?
Okay, so a lot of people say, I went by my parents' advice, my astrologer's advice, my elders' advice, or their own insight and discovery, and seemingly they have reached where they wanted to be. Our research across the globe says that that is far and few, because we are talking about a large number of people who may not have elders, who are educated, aware, or they do not have a mentor to advise them at the right time, at the right place. So the benefit of psychometric assessment and career counseling using psychometrics, conduct of career counseling is that you use a scientific, objective, universal and uniform method, so that when you apply this, you can't go majorly wrong and you're likely to be closer to the right choice. So as per the best practice across the globe, career counseling is done using 3 distinctive tools. One is the interest profiling. Interest is about passion, liking, what they like versus don't like, enjoy doing. The benefit of identifying what my interests are, that then I can narrow down and say, hey, I enjoy mathematics and I enjoy physics, therefore maybe investigation, research, analysis is something that I am likely to enjoy. Whereas some people are mechanical in nature, they tend to use the hands and legs, they are very good in tinkering with repairing the scooter, the bike, or even a watch or an alarm clock. You will find that person is more suitable and therefore is likely to enjoy that kind of work rather than sitting in a cubicle coding. So the insight that you get from an interest profiling is that the most popular model is the Rye-Essex model from John Holland, and strong profiles, interest profile is also following the same. So the benefit is you get an idea early in life, should I go head north or south or east or west, a broad direction which is distinct. If not north, it could be northwest or northeast. So I can make choices in case my interest is not distinct. Now, I must also put this fact that if the interest is high, that may not guarantee success in career. Reason being, a person may have, and I know personally a friend of mine who was very good with music, and in school itself he used to win competitions. So he said, I must become a musician. So he went through the journey of classical music. When I met him, when he had just turned about approximately 30 years, we found he was a pauper. His family was in shambles because though he was a maestro in music, it was not giving him the requisite financial revenues that he wanted to support the family. Therefore, we always suggest that even though you may have one particular interest very strong, and if it does not give you job opportunities or adequate income to meet your aspirations, probably you need to go for the next best and keep your basic core interest as a hobby, and which can be leveraged at a later stage.
So, coming back to this other aspect, a child, very good in maths, bio, chemistry, everything else. And one of the parents is in engineering and the other is in medicine. And both of them want the child in their field. What does he do now?
Yeah, in fact, I had an opportunity about 7 years back to address a similar case where the daughter of a husband-wife couple, who her mother was a doctor and the husband was an engineer and MBA. The father said, you must go for engineering. Mother said, no, you go for medicine, maximum or minimum dentist. And she was a bright student, brilliant student, and she was getting those kind of scores where it is assured that she will get an engineering admission free seat or a medical free seat. And parents were themselves not in agreement with this, and the child also was confused. Should I align with the father or the mother? And she did not want to hurt any one of them. So I was called in. We administered an interest profiling, we administered a personality test, we administered an ability test. The interest profile said, surprisingly, that she has got an inclination for medical research, medical profession, as well as a liking for engineering as well. So we could not use the interest profiling to arrive at a decision, should she become an engineer or a doctor. Both were possible. She had the passion as well as an academic achievement to do that as well. Then we looked at the personality test. The personality test was a trait-based test based similar on the Big Five model, and there was one factor that stood out distinctively. This particular person was an introvert. That means she doesn't enjoy interacting with people. And two, she has got social phobia in the sense that she finds difficulty to interact with people, stand up in front of an audience and speak, or socially inhibited. And if anybody made any remark or criticize her in public, she is to literally close down and get into a shell, and sometimes it takes 2 to 3 days for it to come back to normalcy. So she was such a person. She had some issues about dealing with strong emotions and criticism. And that is only the introversion and ability to deal with strong emotion were two factors which was against her choice of engineer versus doctor. Both it would adversely affect during the training stage itself as well as during practice. So we said, okay, let's imagine you want to become a doctor or an engineer. Are you willing to overcome your social inhibition as well as your oversensitivity to criticism and emotional associated issues? They said, is that possible? I said, yes. The person can go through an anger management program, public speaking presentation program, and it can be overcome within a reasonable period of time, even before she is through the second year of engineering or medicine. So they said, okay, that can be bridged. Then what? So I said, as a typical introvert, she may not enjoy interacting with others. So we said, as an engineer, does a person need to have interaction? So we narrowed down, if she goes into design and engineering, she can work in the back office, but still she will have to work in a small team because very little design work is there where a person does it alone. Then I said, okay, let's do, if you do your medicine, what are the opportunities after the MBBS or beyond where you can work alone versus where you don't have to interact with others? And they themselves said, yeah, radiologist. I said, yes, bang on. So actually the answer lies within a person. Therefore, the purpose of counseling is to elicit possible solutions where they generate the solution and therefore they will own it. And we said, yes, it looks like if you can overcome your social inhibition, communication skills, public speaking skills, and anger management issues, then if you become a doctor and go for radiology, you are likely to be much more successful than any other choices available. Are you game? They deliberated for a while, pros and cons, and they said, can you give us a recommendation where she can go through this and can we have a review of this after 1 year? By the time she would have got admission. I said, absolutely, that's a good idea to reinforce that, particularly the personality test, what changes have taken place after the training at a period of 1 year. Today, she has completed her MD in radiology and she is an outstanding student and she was, I think, the university topper in the MBBS.
Nice.
If we did not do the session, probably she may have gone for engineering. We don't know what would have happened.
Come to think of it, you at InnoMinds, along with me, is proposing doing tens of thousands of children for psychometric assessment.
Yes.
How do you propose to take on this counseling aspect for tens of thousands of children?
Okay, so tens of thousands of children can always be spaced out because our model is to sign up with schools and colleges.
But one counselor can maximum do 7 or 8 assessments in a day.
Yeah. In our model, we say it should be a 30 to 45 minutes, not exceeding 60 minutes counseling session by a counselor. So we have already started the process of doing a 2-day certification training for counselors, preferably psychology background individuals. It could be retired teachers or retired professionals or somebody who has done MSW and want to get into this either full-time or part-time. And they themselves get administered the tools that we are using, and we go through a 2-day training based on the syllabus given by British Psychological Society. And at the end, they not only become familiar with the tools and the report, how to interpret and help the child make those choices based on interest, personality, and ability. They are also introduced a basic concept of NLP so that they can deal with change of mindset of the student as well as the parents or the teachers who could be influencers in the game. And having gone through 2 days training, certification training, If they are not able to, or we select only and retain only those who meet the minimum standard in terms of feedback, it's observed they have to give a video recording of the session, and if they meet all the criteria stipulated, only then they become certified counselors. Our goal is to create a large pool of such counselors in each of the hubs. We already have a program planned for Cochin, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai, and we also asked them if they're willing to travel so that they could move out from the hub to the spokes. It may be a rural or a second tier, third tier city where the school is located, so that the counseling session can happen. So based on the number, we take aggregate of 8 to 10 sessions in a day per counselor, and we ensure that sufficient numbers are positioned, and we plan the event in conjunction with the school so that the counseling session is flawless and run smoothly.
Yeah, today I agree, we have a lot of trained counselors who have done some kind of courses and even graduation in that. How much do you think each one of them will be able to earn if they got involved in a program like this?
Okay, now remember, career counseling is not a money spending game. Even in our minds, when we do career counseling as a service, it is not the high-end profit vertical that we are driving. It's more of nation building. It's more about reaching out to children so that we create a better nation of tomorrow. That is one. Similarly, number two, we surveyed the BA Psychology, MA Psychology, MSc Psychology graduates and asked them, how much do you earn as a school counselor or a marital counselor or emotional or a psychology counselor in individual practice or in an institution? The salary range is not as high as that of a teacher. The per session cost varied from 200 to 600 rupees depending upon one's experience, educational qualification, and expertise that they have. So what we have said, we are looking at people taking up career counseling with us in InnoMinds Academy as a part-time job rather than a full-time. And in a day, if a person does about 8 sessions between say morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 p.m., he or she should be able to get at least 2,000 rupees as a day. And if it can be done for 20 days, that's a neat 40,000 rupees a month.
That's interesting. Welcome to the wide range of internationally proven and acclaimed psychometric assessments from InnoMinds for students, individuals, professionals, or corporates. For any queries or to sign up, call 8512-034-034 or email us at info@innomindsacademy.com.